Coach, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead when you're ready, please.
Thank you, Mark. Congratulations to Coach Beamer in South Carolina. He obviously did a lot better job than I did, and they did a lot better job with their team than we did. Jumped on us early, hit some big plays in the passing game, and then ended up running the ball at will. So when you get 301 yards rushing to 120 something, you're not going to win any football games. And then obviously they were running the ball so well on first down that they get 6 of 11 on third downs, and we're 1 of 10 because we're not consistently running the ball. And then we have 2 field goals in the red zone where we had to score touchdowns. So again, give them congratulations. That's about all we can say about it. Kids were really disappointed. They understood that we didn't play well, and they were not very proud of it. So sometimes it's probably helps you going into the off season. You'd rather have momentum, but a lot of times you won't fix things as much when things are great. And we had a tough day today. So we'll have to go back and relook at everything we're doing. Questions?
Okay, let's go over to Mike Topper, please.
Hey, Coach, obviously they had a few explosive plays that hurt you guys. Where did you see some of the breakdowns on defense, especially with those first 2 touchdowns?
Mike, we just got beat on the first one and out of the Wildcat. And then the second one was a busted coverage. But we didn't tackle well, so there were a couple of long runs too. So it was just we didn't play consistently well throughout the day on defense.
Kramer, go ahead.
Yeah, their quarterback, DeCarrion Joyner, has not passed, I believe, in 2 years in college, really hasn't played quarterback all season long. I just was curious if you all had really game planned for him at all in the quarterback role, and if not, just how difficult was he kind of to adapt to in this game?
Jordan, obviously we hadn't, and he did an unbelievable job. So I think there'll be some discussion about him moving forward because he played an excellent game.
Andrew Jones.
Coach, with respect to readiness and the team being ready to play, some of the guys said that after the way the NC State game ended, that they wanted to get rid of that taste out of their mouths. How disappointed are you that it appeared the readiness wasn't at the level it needed to be, especially with that motivation that they had discussed?
I don't know how you ever know when young people are ready, Andrew, and you got 11 of them out there at a time. And I, at one point I said, boy, this team was flat. And Coach Roll told me teams aren't flat. Maybe individuals are flat, but you're doing some kids wrong that played their guts out today and played really, really well. So I would never say that your team wasn't ready. And obviously they kept fighting till the end.
Also, you kind of went out there. I'm not sure if you finished or not. You stalled.
Obviously, played better than we did.
Yeah, my apology. You stalled there for a second. A second question is, obviously you don't have the advantage of having seen the film or anything like that, but off the top of your head, aside from the outcome, what is the most disappointing thing you saw from your team today?
The most disappointing thing, which is what I led with, is they rushed for 301 yards and we rushed for 128, I think. And you're not going to win football games if that's the case. Secondly, you've got to make third downs and stay on the field. They were getting 7 and 8 yards on first down, which made their third downs easy for 6 out of 11. And we were 1 out of 10. So obviously we weren't. So we had one long run and we're very inconsistent with the rest of our running game. So when you can't do those 2 things, then you're going to lose the game. And that's 100%. I mean, that's football. It's when I was with ESPN, they told me, don't just say that because it seems too simple. It's facts. It's real. And they ran it and we didn't. And therefore they made third downs and stayed on the field and we didn't. I didn't see their time of possession was 39 to 21. So, I mean, I looked up, we were down 18-0. We'd run 11 offensive plays. So that's, we can dissect this thing 1,000 ways if we want to. They rushed it a lot better than we did, and therefore they stayed on the field a lot longer than we did, and they made first downs and we didn't.
Thank you.
CL Brown, go ahead.
Mack, the slow start you guys got off to, what do you see? You know, this was the fourth game, I believe, this season where you guys have fallen behind by double digits. What can you do? I know we've talked about this before, but what have you tried to do to kind of jumpstart this team early so that you can run the ball more? I mean, you get behind like that, it's like it takes the running game out of the game plan.
No, and so yeah, we talked about it all week. We talked about it this morning. Come on, guys, that we got to get a quick start. We've got to get better. We practice every morning. This should be our time of the day to play. And then offensively, we move the ball right down the field, and then we have a bust in the offensive line with them, and we just turn an outside linebacker loose on a 3rd down and 4. So you can't do that. But I can't answer that. Obviously, if I could have answered it, I'd have fixed it. I think we got to get more leaders. We got to get more people that understand that they got to be ready to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go over to Adam Smith.
Mac, that's exactly what I was going to ask you about with the slow start sort of being a symptom of some of these losses you guys have dealt with. Like, is it, obviously you get behind, you don't want to do that. You're facing a deficit, but is another bad situation there where it doesn't allow you to sort of settle into the game and get your footing and that type of thing? Is that another sort of byproduct of falling behind early, you think?
It is, Adam. And what we'll do is we'll take every one of those games where we had a poor start. We'll dissect every defense. We'll dissect every offensive play and see if there's some structure there that we should have done differently or done better. See if there's any common denominators. But usually when we were at home or even in the early games, we didn't fall behind as much. And then you look at personnel and see, is somebody, keep putting somebody out there that's not playing well and not being productive. And if that's the case, then we've got to find something else for them to do. Either you're not doing what they do best, or they're not capable of doing it, and you should replace them. Thank you, Adam.
All right, Patrick Welter, go ahead.
Coach, you talked about changing the narrative this week, trying to get those 3 straight winning seasons and the close losses that this team was so close to maybe having a different story. So what's that story now that you have a disappointing end?
The story, Patrick, is that we're in the middle of the league where we thought we aren't. We didn't play well today. We've played pretty well every game. We've played hard after the early games. This one was more like one of those early ones. I'm not sure why. I've got to take some time to figure it out. I'm so disappointed that, as I've said, I usually don't do very well after these games because I've got to sit and look at the game and watch it over and over and try to figure out, is there something in there that we can fix immediately? What's going to take longer? I know we've got to be more physical in both lines of scrimmage. Like I said, we talked about that. We had live work for the last 2 weeks. I thought that was better, and it wasn't. This will be better for our program probably than if we had won 45-0. Everybody would have been happy. We wouldn't have fixed as many things. Now there's a whole lot of things we got to fix. And I don't think we'll be rated next year in the top 8 in preseason.
Right, Greg Barnes, go ahead.
Hey, Mac, this defense is probably going to end up kind of borderline top 100 in a lot of the national stats after returning 10 starters from last year's team. From your perspective, I mean, is this primarily a personnel issue that recruiting fixes, or is this something that Jay needs to kind of take a long look at it, trying to fix some of these things that keep coming up?
I think both. When Gimmel came out before the end of the half and Power played the whole second half, that's tough to put a freshman in there that's played very little against an attack that's just running the ball. So there's a lot of great freshmen, sophomores out there that need to get older, and they'll play better next year. But we, as coaches, we've got to look at everything we're doing and seeing why. I mean, our game plan was 100% to stop the run today, and they rushed for 301 yards. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Thank you, Mac.
Thank you.
All right, last one for Coach will come from Gregory Hall.
Mac, when that last possession there, obviously 50 seconds left and Drake May came out. Did you say anything to Sam about that and just kind of thanking him for choosing to play in this bowl game or anything like that?
Yeah, Sam will make his decision and announce it when he's ready, if he's coming back or not. And I didn't want to put him in a position where it looked like I was making that decision for him or that I knew something, because I didn't think that was proper for him. But I did I brought him up in front of the team and talked about he's such a warrior. He's such a competitor. Most quarterbacks of his status that are first round draft choices would not have today. I'm sure a lot of people and he fought his guts. We'd obviously love to have him. If not, some pro team's going to be really lucky to get a guy who loves football and competes at the highest level and that I admire so much on and off the field. And the reason we put Drake in instead of Jacoby for the last 50 seconds, Jacoby would have lost a red shirt. If he went in the game. Jeremy, it looks like they're frozen. Oh, there.
All right, all right, Coach, that's the last one we have for you. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.